Good morning, dear viewers of Gaza Media. It's a Sunday morning here in USA, and the time now is 8:45, and today is the 20th of October 2024. And we'll be bringing you updates on what is happening in our community. And this morning, we'll be focusing on the activity of the Kudu USA, and I will be bringing in the CEO Emeritus, Mr. Atem Terence, who was the CEO for the past 4 years. With so many projects that he did, we'll be discussing on some of those issues. But dear viewers, if you are tuning in, share the link to all the viewers of Gaza Media, share the link to the BLM community, to the bank community, and to those that you think that this program may be beneficial to them. As you know, the Kudu USA has sponsored so many projects in the BLM, including the hair campaign, which was the project of all time, a project that cut across the entire BLM and even part of the Western region. So we will be looking into that and what is going on. And again, we'll also be discussing on the road, the Ngundeng Azi Nchonghai road project, about the acquisition of the equipment. We'll also be looking into that. And lastly, the CEO Emeritus will be giving his opinion on some of the incomplete projects by the Minji Municipal Council. Stay tuned as we bring you the CEO Emeritus. Yes, Mr. Terence, you are welcome to Gaza Media. It's my pleasure having you again this morning. I
Thank you,
know,
Dr. Timber.
yes, last time we discussed so many things, there was no time to catch up. Again, today we'll still have very limited time, but I want us to strike on some of the key issues that our community people have been wondering. I know you are still somehow in the transition of the government or the leadership of the Kudu USA to the current leadership. But I want to dive into some of the key issues. Dr. Etienne Asonyi, who is the medical officer for the Kudu USA campaign in Cameroon, pleaded via Gaza Media that he wished that the planification should start as early as possible to give them enough time to put their stuff together, able to take off permission from work, etc., etc. I just want to ask you, have you started with the preparation? I know you are in the transition, but how is the preparation of the next hair campaign going to look like?
Right. Thank you. As you know, Lekuru USA initiated the health campaign since 2022, and we have successfully organized 3 health campaigns with our partners and our core partners, and also our sponsors and the donors who supported us have been very happy with that program. And of course, the patients, our community members in Fontem and outside of Fontem, the rest of the country, have also indicated to us that they really, really need these services so badly. So that program is going to continue. Now, in terms of update, since once Dr. Aswanyi Etienne left the United States, which we actually invited him to the US, and his trip was paid by from the health campaign funds. So since he went back, we held a meeting. We held a meeting in August to review the actions that and recommendations that were made at our end of a program meeting. Because after every health campaign, we do an evaluation meeting, and then recommendations are made by the team, and those are escalated to the organizers, and that's Lekuru USA. So we met, I don't know the precise date, but somewhere in August, and at that time, I really wanted to make sure that the next steps were laid out very clearly for the new team. Once they pick up, they know clearly what they needed to do, because their success really depends on what how we prepare them for the task ahead. So we held that meeting, and there are 3 items. They are first, we had agreed that the health campaign, a centralized single health campaign was not enough. So there was need to decentralize the health campaign, because you can imagine we're doing a health campaign in Maryhill, that you have the elderly who are far away, who are in Takwe, far away down there on the southern part of the bank. There you have the northern part, far away, people who are closer to Sultan in Bindielekom. Those elderly who are left in the village cannot trek to Maryhill. So we felt that it was necessary to decentralize, to do a major health campaign, but also do many community healthcare outreach programs. And we agreed, the health campaign team had agreed that one of them would be in JA, one would be in Takwe, and then one would be in Azee. And the locations are very strategic. The locations are picked based on how furthest away they are from Maryhill, and also how the population density. Because as you know, in JA, people have never left in JA. That is where we have the highest population that is still in the village. Um,
Mhm.
and you have Takwe, where almost everybody in the bank has moved to Takwe for farming, and they are far away from Maryhill. Now, Azee, it's because we also wanted to make sure that the middle belt of the bank is captured, so that people who are moving back to the center of the bank can also receive healthcare. And the third criteria that we use is community health centers have collapsed. So we know that the Z Health facility hospital has collapsed. So we situated this in a Z also, so that it can help while they're working on bringing back, restoring the hospital in a Z. At least we have an option for people who are going back to Azee and its environs, the Loire, all that area, and Jenache, to be able to come to Azee and receive these services. So that planning has really started, and there's a date for the NJA outreach program, which is October 9, 10, and 11. But specifically, I think it's on the Saturday of that weekend, where Dr. Michelle and the Mary Health team, they're going to go to NJA and treat people. And this is open to everybody, as people know. It's open to everybody. It's sort of this. And again, Dr. Kumba, the funds for this community outreach program are not are not the Kodo call funds. These are leftover funds from the health campaign funds that I raised. So I make it a duty that if donors give their money for something that they like philosophically, if money is left, we still put it in the healthcare system, because that is where these donors want. So what we did is, after we remove all the expenditure, I know that the pending expenditures of the health campaign is reimbursement to our leadership team, my hotel, car rental, driver, and the flight ticket that has not been paid, the new executive, because we're trying to make sure that the report for the health campaign, financial report, is very clear before
Okay.
then can pay. So that is going to be paid. So the remaining funds that we are using for this program are still leftover funds from last year, so that we should be clear.
So it's more like kind of continuation of the last year program, if I
Exactly. It's
understood
a
you well.
continuity, because continuity is everything in projects.
Yeah. So now moving forward, when this phase is done, what about the 2025, which usually take place, I believe, in the month of March? So what I was asking is, are you already starting? Okay, let me take it this
No,
way.
no, no. Let me clarify that. The meeting we had was to begin planning for 2025 health campaign
Mhm.
for March.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting, and we're looking at what is required, what we need to do to make sure that campaign starts on time, starts efficiently, and runs efficiently. And now they are they are we're trying to figure out the date. So we consulted with our partners, consulted with the volunteers, because remember, the date matters. It has to be a date that is convenient to optimize and maximize our performance. And the volunteers, the partners, they are very core, part of
People.
the success. So we
So I
consulted.
wanted to ask you,
Yes.
are people like, I just want to be concrete, we get some thought here straight. Is healing beyond the horizon of Professor Funkem still Are you guys still in touch with him? Are you still in touch with Lightbridge International, maybe Tech Lab and the rest and all of the partners?
All our key partners, as they are part of this, they attend this, we're at this meeting, they are part of the planning. We plan together. It's a very united front. Nobody has indicated so far that they're going to drop. And as you know, the Healing Beyond the Horizon, the Kudu USA General Assembly appropriated $20,000. Healing Beyond the Horizon appropriated $12,000 and sent 5 medical doctors to Cameroon. So if you look at their contribution, it's huge. And then you have Lightbridge International. They also bought they bought the medical supplies and they spent about $10,000, and they still brought nurses, and their CEO traveled to Cameroon. And he, Mr. Richard Peter, it's the only one. When we started in 2022, he sacrificed to go to Cameroon and represent us at the health campaign, the first health campaign. So Lightbridge, Healing Beyond the Horizon have been with us forever. And Take a Lab, I cannot call everybody, but remember that we also this year, we added more partners. The Cameroon Oncology Center for Cancer. We also added Kamba Health for electronic health records. So we would only add more partners. I don't think that the nature of this work and the fulfillment that these partners have, being able to impact their people, I don't think it's something they want to just drop and move away like easily. Instead, they're going to pump in more effort and more resources to make sure our people do well, especially as the population that is moving back to Fontem and it's swelling. We need more resources. We need more partners. And I can assure you that the new executive and the new board, they are very, very ready. I think I hear some people call me and they underestimate them. These are people I know, Kem Tumbo and Kem Tanyi, Fondi Robert. They are very, very dedicated and they're up to the task. And they're working, we're working, we're assisting them in every form to make sure things are more successful, even better than we were.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that wonderful update. Okay, let's move fast forward now to the road equipment, the acquisition of the front head bulldozer and the motor grader. Uh, what are the updates? Are they already in Cameroon? When do people expect it to arrive Cameroon? What is the state?
Yes, I am glad. I mean, I've left the former CEO, but that project is very, very dear to me as a person, because it's an effort that I think I've invested a lot of time in it since 2016 when I traveled to Cameroon. I met with the council and tried to lobby them when I was board chair and they committed to giving 10 million. And fast forward, last year, we committed that as a team, as an executive, that we must. I mean, 3 years ago, we started working on this project. If we go, Henry, what did you do for you?
Yeah, sorry, there was some technical hitches. I will be bringing the CEO back to the spotlight. We're sorry for the interference, for the disturbance.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, hitches. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, you were talking about the the road project.
Yes, and sorry for the interruption. When you have family in the house sometimes, and it's too early, people are preparing for church. So yeah, so as I was saying, this is a very important project, and we have shipped the two pieces of equipment. They set sail sometime about 2 weeks ago or last week, I believe. We estimate the shipper has informed, not a guarantee, but inform us that this equipment would most probably get to Cameroon in December, sometime in December. And if that happens, then we're in a good place, because that would be the core of the dry season, because we really, really do not want to be hiring equipment again to do this road. We also are working on the arrangement how this equipment will be managed. But first, We're also working on getting tax exoneration from the government of Cameroon. As you know, if you are sending a piece of equipment to go and do the work that it's the government's responsibility, primary responsibility, one of their primary responsibilities to make sure that there's a good road infrastructure. But I think once a community it's helping with that, and then they can plead or request for a tax exoneration from the government. That means also we're also asking for the shipping cost exoneration, not the shipping cost, the removal from the port, which is basically tax, this thing that we said. But the shipping cost has been paid. um we that money, it's a loan because the Kuru USA has actually spent on this project more than what they raised, right? So but because we're kind of the protector of the project, we initiated the project, and then we're working with all the various Lekudus. We are very committed to make sure that the equipment get delivered, and there's a management body to manage this equipment diligently. So in terms of updates also, Dr. Joe Fotuchan, who is the lead person for this project, so I can always speak to the administrative part. And the reason why I provide these updates is because the new CEO, it's it's in all these meetings, and he is the one running the show. But because paperwork, once you initiate and you have the name of the former CEO in all the documents, it became very difficult to then reinsert the new CEO's name in documents that had been signed early on, so that people
Mhm.
understand. So that's why the committee still requested me to stay on, make sure these tasks that I have to facilitate and make sure the process continues and complete, it gets to completion. I need to work with the new CEO to make sure it's completed. So the equipment have taken, they have set sail to Cameroon, and I think Lebanc people will be proud. And I also want to thank Lekudo, Massachusetts, Boston, for their fundraiser that is coming up, and they intend to raise funds to support the road project. And a percentage of what they raise is going to come to the road project to support the Kudu USA contribution to the road project, and then why a percentage is going to be used to solve some of their own problems. And I need to educate our people that we have a 501c status, the Kudu USA, and our chapters are using that status. So if they want to do their fundraiser, then they're doing under the umbrella of the 501c status, non tax exempt status that we have, the Kudu USA have. So the agreement is that there has to be a benefit sharing arrangement. They take care of the money, then part of that money comes to the Kudu USA, so that people can understand what is happening. So every Lebanc child, son and daughter, needs to support Boston for this initiative that's coming, because it's for all of us.
Okay. Yes. Okay. In one of the last meeting with the road committee project, I think our core engineer in the field, Mr. Romanus Asong, uh, he presented some of the challenges and recommended that the work should start early. Parents and villages, Mafo Kumbin also reinforced that people from the villages along the stretch of the road should help with stones, carrying of stones and sand to that effort. Can you were probably were in that meeting? Can you reinforce that message to the people listening
Yes,
to you?
Dr. Koba, community-based projects have their own challenges. First, because most of our youthful population has moved out of the village, so most of those who are left are the elderlies, are the elderly people. They don't have a lot of strength to do a lot of work, so that by itself has been a challenge for us to get the mobilization from the community and output that normally would expect from a community. And it's not that these people are not committed. They are very committed. All these communities are very committed. So you have people from JA coming to carry stones, So the understanding was that the community will provide stones, provide sand, and any local material that is natural material that comes from the area. We face challenges, as I said, because of the population. So we thinking complementary actions to take. And that, again, I can promise you, things are going to start on time. The project was suspended. Uh, a pause was placed on the project because of the rains. As you know, during the rainy season, there's nothing you can do on the road, and people cannot do a lot of this work. But the dry season is coming. I think October, by November, the dry season will be here. Dr. Joe Fotuchang, who is the lead person in charge of the road project and everything else, has been working his tail out to plan for that resumption of work and planning. And I need to let people know that even though the project was suspended, we've been working day and night. People will not understand. For us to get this equipment into the waters to set sail, we've been working the phones. Dr. Joe Fotuchang, the new CEO, Mark Fokumbin, Dr. Julius Omengua, and the President General in Cameroon, document signing, meetings, but most of it has been us here because now, the equipment is coming from here.
Yeah.
So Dr. Joe has been on it. I can promise people that all some of those challenges in addition to the insecurity that we faced, we are hoping that at least from the insecurity problem will not uh, pose a challenge again, because with that it's going to be hard for us to be effective. But we are praying that those boys around our area, BLM children, they understand that we are doing this. It's not the government. If there was any misunderstanding where people were feeding them with wrong information, that's not true. But Dr. Kumba, I also want to stress, Lebanese people need to watch out for troublemakers and saboteurs. And I'll also emphasize that some of these troublemakers and saboteurs are Lebanese sons and daughters. So for us to succeed, everybody has to be vigilant. So everybody has to be vigilant. If people would come and try to, sabotage a project by claiming that, you see, the project was poorly done here, and we want positive criticism, we want constructive criticism, we also need true criticism, because all of us, we are not angels. We need to improve. If somebody sees something that was done wrong, that they think they have a different opinion, it would have done like this, they should suggest. It's our project together. If we succeed together. If we fail together. Lebanc is very united, but I also implore Lebanc people to be vigilant. That even I, the former CEO, if I try to sabotage this project, they should go after me. Even the President General in Cameroon, if he tries to sabotage this project, they go after him. Nobody should be above reproach when it comes to the survival and destiny of Lebanc. And I say this, I use myself and the President General just to say that nobody is above reproach for accountability when it comes to this project. So I don't mean that we are the ones going to sabotage the project, but I'm just raising
Yeah.
stakes that if people
Yeah.
can go after
No,
us.
I understand the metaphor. I understand the metaphor. So,
Mm.
Terence, now before we go, we'll have about 5 more minutes left. You have executed so many projects in the bank in the midst of this war. Um, I mean, there are so many of them, but if I'll just cite like one of the water project, like I think the one at Inu, that was partnered with that village association you supported with some of the elites from that area to execute the project. I mean, among the crisis, when you look at the Minji Municipal Council with the poor execution of project within the same time frame, what do you recommend, or what are your thoughts to this kind of I mean, you have been watching the media, the social media, what is going on, the anger of not completing project or not even attempting at all, or whatever the situation may be.
Yes, so I mean, you know, I grew up in Menji, I grew up in Aziz, so I'm kind of very prolific when it comes to projects and the way government, the history of government projects in Lebanon has been sad. I can name projects after projects after projects that before the war, we're not talking about the war, nothing to do with insecurity. Before the war, Lebanon elites and Lebanon sons and daughters would take projects and they will not complete it. And they will mismanage the projects. They'll swindle the money. It has been a chronic disease. And Gaza Media, thank you for the job you have done and you continue to do to shine the light. As I say, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Government money is not personal money. People need Lebanon. The community has to know this. And this is not just the BLM community. Any money that comes from the government to do projects in the BLM, it's the people's money. And the people need to get involved. The people have to be vigilant. I don't want to go through the whole idea of project cycle. But for us in Lekudu, I can use Lekudu as an example. When I came in, I realized that we've had problems with money management, and sometimes they would accuse the CEOs and people on the ground managing projects just because we didn't have a clean process, right? Things were not laid out. So when we came in, what did we do? We said all our projects, and listen to this, Dr. Komba, all the Kudu projects are backed by a legal contract. And I'll give kudos to Dr. Ernest Folefak, who has been our legal advisor. He writes all our projects, and please, we don't pay him a dime. We do not pay him. These are good, great people sacrificing for Lebanon. And he writes a contract. Everything is clearly specified, and there are consequences. And let me give you an example of those consequences. For the road project, the first phase, the contractor, he was not able to complete the project. What did we do? We withheld the money. That until he comes and completes the project. Another example is a solar project phase 2. As you know, we've not gone out there and really concluded the solar project phase 2. The contractors did not complete the project. There were complaints from our beneficiaries, and we withheld the remaining money. And we said, until those complaints are resolved, we are not paying them that money. So you can see how contracting, how when the community is involved, but when you also add monitoring and evaluation, please, this is key. Monitoring and evaluation. If a project comes to your area, please, Lebanon community, villages, village development associations, we are not politicians, but we are supposed to provide oversight, monitor and evaluate, and provide feedback. It's not just monitor, evaluate, provide feedback. There are mechanisms to provide feedback. If it's negative feedback, if you feel the project was not well executed, provide feedback to the contractor, provide feedback to the council, the project owner. If it's the council, you can write to the SDO, you can write to the investigative bodies. Do your job, do your damn job. Let's stop this thing of always thinking that, oh, we put blame on whatever. I mean, a lot of people will be unscrupulous when it comes to contractors. I can tell you, I've lived in Minji. I know we will grow up in Minji. We know more about these troublesome contractors than everybody, you know, because we live with them, we grow up with them, we see what they do. So I think you've done a good job, and you've really shown what the role of media is here. Not biased, not, unafraid to seek the truth, and unafraid to be the voice of the people. That is the role of media, to ensure transparency and accountability. And please, even with us, the Kuru USA, you've held us to the task.
Yeah, I remember
And
almost all
sometimes
the
people come here and complain. I say, wait a minute. And I'll tell people that, look, to be honest with you, I want somebody who can be behind us as media, because that is the way it helps to improve performance. When people are coming and asking you and challenging you and holding you accountable, you improve your quality of work. People need to understand that this is not some wish hunting like I hear people that I respect. And it's sad. I don't even want to go down there. People who I respect should not come to an initiative like this and start claiming wish hunting this and that. No, people are just trying
Yeah,
to figure out.
I think that's true because sometimes, when we started, when you cover cultural event, you showcase people are dancing, they're happy with you. But you also have to do a check and balance. And that's the one thing I keep repeating, that when you raise money for the public, right, you have to. In Check, for example, when they raise money, they were delaying. I mean, Mr. Landem Dennis, he will tell you, I was on his phone every day. You need to fulfill your promises.
And you've
So,
known Mr. Lander for a long time. People will be surprised.
yes, that's
You're
my.
an equal opportunity offender. You offend everybody. Even people who
Yeah,
think they're your friends.
and then
Once you want to
he's
see
my
the truth,
classmate from one. He's my classmate
it
from
doesn't
one.
it
But
doesn't matter whether somebody is a family member. You do
then,
your
oh
job, you
no,
stay
no,
there.
no. When it comes to that, they know me. I don't smile.
Yeah, but
No,
I would also to the listeners,
thank you.
I would also say this. You see, we need to assume that everybody who is working on the bank development, it's committed to doing the right thing, right?
Mhm.
The benefit of the doubt, give people the benefit of the doubt. We also need to avoid weaponizing accountability.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that those who are, I'm one of the administrators of Nkeleban Forum. I'm also an administrator in the Bank Fundum Forum. And I am glad that people continue to remind people, do not come and accuse someone if you don't have the facts, if you don't have a proof.
Mhm.
Now, I will also caution that that is a high bar. That is only for the legal people. If your thing is missing in this house and you suspect somebody, you have the right? If you have
Mhm.
some degree of information that you can rely on to make a claim that you suspect that this person should be responsible. Now, you make sure you make that, you state that suspicion clearly and provide some reasoning behind it. That is allowed. And then you allow the person due process for the person to come forward and say, no, this is your suspicion, it's wrong because of this or that, and clear the air and people move on, right? The water project, as you know, Mr. Director, it affects
Mhm.
me, it affects my family. And also, it's a problem that, to be honest with you, I am mad. I grew up in Menji. We have crisis of water in Menji. When I was running Aerodev, people forget, I've been involved with the council for quite a while. When I was running Aerodev around 2003, 2004, Kamambin was mayor, hired Aerodev and another NGO in Yaoundé to develop a strategic development plan for the municipality for about 30 years. We went to all these places, went to Mbindia, Nyefongongkam, went to the cave that Fontem Aswanyi sought refuge there, went to the BLM waterfall. I think we should still have those photos. And we had a lot of meetings with the community because at the time I was leading Erodev. Erodev was really the main NGO on the ground doing community-based development, research, and conservation. And we even trained the councillors because Kamambin, I think that is the first time that Kamambin, the mayor, brought the idea of micro projects, allowing municipal councillors to manage some projects, to come up with project proposals for their area for about 250,000. And the mayor at the time, in Kamambin, we identified as Erodep because we used to be kind of his secretary, right? I had a private secretary in Erodep office and allowed the council to use those services. So a lot of time I would talk with Kimambin and give him ideas on how to manage the council better. And we even did training for the councillors in terms of how to identify projects, do a need assessment and monitor and evaluate projects. So I know a lot about these things and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the mismanagement. And the water project, as I said, Erodette even wanted to protect the catchment of the Fiengab water catchment. And do you know that he was still some Leban people who stood against that? Probably because, and not people, but a few individuals, because of self-interest. Because you can't have, you remember when we're at a Z, you remember when Fomunga went and had mental
Mm-hmm.
problems, and when and there was physics, and when and whatever happened at the tank, the water tank of our Azi water, right? Our Azi water tank.
Yeah.
What he messed up the thing, and all of us rushed from Azi and went up there at the Zinmenga or Ndungale, up there where they had the Menga thing,
Yeah.
And so when I came and I started working in Fontaine development, and water natural resource management was one of our core areas. So we decided that we need to protect our water catchments, but also we need to rehabilitate our water catchments because streams, rivers, and springs were drying up. And there was, and we did a study and discovered it was as a result of deforestation. If you look at the Fiengab water, the volume has significantly reduced, and it continues to reduce because the water catchment up there was cleared. The vegetation cover was removed, and then all that water, has the source where the water comes from dries up. So we wanted to protect it, but not only that, you had animals, right? Uh,
Terence, you are
goat,
going. This is your fee. I know you can talk here
yeah,
and let you know
yeah.
when you start going, you keep going.
So
I know
there
it
are a lot
keeps
of
coming.
I'm just saying that the problem is
Yeah,
bigger than just the water that project
yeah,
for this thing. And I also want to caution. I hear people saying, "Oh, why did they not go do the Azir water?" Part of the document that we submitted to the council was that they should decentralize the water supply. People need to be careful. The fact that we had only one line coming from Azir, it's a very big risk because whether you do what the risk is higher, pipes will be cut, and the rest of the bank will not have water. So we made a recommendation to the council. We need that why the Azir water supply can be the main line. We need to create alternative water supplies because Minji municipality that are thousands of people needed a sustainable source of water. And in our recommendation, it was that the council should support the small springs that were around Menji, and then they should also go up in Jensen. We even recommended the water we recommended was around Changi, up there from Changi, far away, so that it can create the necessary gradient to drive water down to three corners and then up the hill to Menji. And then we looked at another water source at Fort Abawancho. So there is a need to decentralize the water supply. That is the only way we would survive.
yeah. Terence, we'll talk on this. I think this is the area we'll try. Maybe we'll make another segment or piece by piece to come and begin to talk some of these things. Maybe in the form of a panel discussion where people can give alternative or
Yep.
challenge an idea. Then that will be a very interactive kind of discussion. Again, I want to thank you for coming out today, uh, at least for giving the review of the hair campaign, where we are today, the road project, what is it, and I hope uh, the Minji Municipal Council, the head, the mayor, they are listening to us, some of these recommendations and some of these technicalities, so that they can work hard to ensure that there's water in Menji. It is
Yeah,
sad.
but let me say one thing before I go. I know you need to round up. Again, you see, I'm not a politician. I always tell people we would do development, we give credit where it's due. If my brother, your brother, Christiano, who we know, people will say this. And I say my thing straight because you see, this is my problem with people. People want transparency, they want accountability, but they also don't want when somebody that has not been, has done some things that people don't like, does a good thing, and you acknowledge that the person did a good thing, right? If we want transparency, people have to make sure if somebody does a good thing, as bad as they are, you acknowledge that they did a good thing. You can see the reopening of Sidoism. You can see the opening of other schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know all the noise that was happening. So those who were on the way through dialogue and just, you know, lobbying, just getting them to understand that, you see, Lekudu is not a government institution, and they know we have a 501c status and we have obligations. We are neutral. We are like the Red Cross. It's just education, and they agreed with us, and that's how you see Sidoism was able to reopen. And please, these people are committed to make sure Sidoism is a successful story. And I just wanted to thank everybody who helped to make that happen. But also thank the mayor. As I tell you, I don't get me into the politics of the council, but the mayor helping us to give us
Mm-hmm.
authorization to do the road was a good thing. Committing that they'll pave the hill, it's a good thing. Committing that they'll build the covered, it's a good thing. We want to thank people when they do good. But also, Lekuru USA initiated a school project, and today we have 18 schools. I know people have gone out and say, oh, there are no schools there. If you want your type of school, go fight for it. Okay, go fight for it. Nobody, don't come and say you want to use Lekudu to do things that you want to run us into trouble. We are not going to do people's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
We have 18 schools. We have worked hard with the community, and the community, they are,
No,
these
no, no.
schools.
I think the record are out there. No matter what you do, there will always be people that will be saying things that are inaccurate, and sometimes it's very difficult to rubric all the information that is inaccurate.
And we
Right?
negotiate we negotiate this school program with both sides. People need to understand. We don't want to send a child to initiate, start a school and a child gets killed. So we have to talk to both sides. I mean, I can tell people I'm not one of those people that I accept people saying, oh, if you hate this person, I should not. No, I talk to people who claim my debt, who lie against me all the time. But if I need development in the bank, and there's something that that person can offer, I go to them and bring the development to the bank. Because when you start drinking water, you don't care who brought the water, isn't it, Kaza
For
Media?
sure. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Okay, dear viewers, yeah, we'll probably coming to the end of this program. I just want to also make this point clear that around about misinformation, I know it's very difficult to go after every information and set it straight, but I just want to say that the Bindia Hospital rehabilitation, the work was done. The other thing is nobody know what was in the contract, to what extent the rehabilitation was supposed to be done. But I've conducted an investigation. There was repair done in that hospital. What is left is a medical supply. And somebody has confirmed to us that they saw it at the Minji temporal office in Cham. And so they are waiting for that uh, medical consignment to be shipped to Mbindia. At the same time, I will urge Mbindia Culture and Development Organization to clean the environment, to clean the surrounding, and probably clean the hospital and make it appealing while waiting for the medical supply and the staff that will be sent to that hospital. This is Ernest Kumba, and this is the voice of the people. Thank you.